Welcome, everybody, to the 21st of July, 2025, currently 4:47 p.m. on your Monday morning Eastern Standard Time. Welcome wherever, whenever you are. Let's get right to it. A little bit more because I didn't do the weekend update, so Monday has a little bit more of 3 days in one, in a sense. Pressure mounts for Ghislaine Maxwell to be released to testify before Congress. Again, we talked about this last week. It's going to be a story. They're going to keep sweeping us under the rug, like the next thing we talk about with the Obama video that came out with the Russia. So this just, they might not. They're going to try to see how much they can distract you from all this. Migrants in ICE in jail in Miami made to kneel to eat like dogs, report alleges. Incident in which migrants were shackled with hands tied, one of succession of alleged abuses in jails in Florida. Let's see, dozens of men have been packed in holding cells for hours, reports said, denied lunch until about 7 p.m. They remained shackled with the food on chairs in front of them. We had to eat like animals, one detainee named Pedro said. I know everyone's going to say, hey, they're illegals. They're also human beings. Okay. I mean, we can also agree to, if they're illegal, bad, put them in prison, deport, whatever, make sure due process, but also let's treat them like human beings at the same time. Let's see, the jail was far from capacity. There was one about the cameras being right above toilets. Disturbance control team brutalized detainees that were protesting lack of medical attention to one of their number who was coughing up blood. One detainee suffered a broken finger. Let's see, overcrowding has happened. Immigration detention numbers nationally were on average 56,400 per day in mid-June, with almost 72% having no criminal history, according to the report. Daily average for the whole of 2024 was 37,500. Anyway, you want to look at it, it will be in the show notes. It's already in the show notes. If you look underneath this video right this minute. Atrocious. Lawyers, family, and friends of detainees described ICE detention. One man, Nexon Roldo Asensio, was forced to sleep on the wet, foul-smelling floor of the bathroom, according to his wife. These comments paint a similar portrait description for Marcelo Gomez de Silva, 11th grader from Milford, who was held in Birmingham for 6 days. Unusually large volume of immigrants in detention meant a backlog was created at the office in Burlington, Massachusetts. 2 days he was sleeping on the bathroom floor. One detainee's wife said of her husband that her husband told her, quote, it was a small room and it had a toilet and a sink, but it was always a wet floor. I'm sleeping on the bathroom floor. It smells like pee and smells like poop. Christina Maria Toledo, his wife, said, everyone's coming in and out. It's packed. The only thing they gave me, crackers and water that were dirty. Unattainable. They're atrocious. They're ridiculous. They had at one point up to 18 women there in a small room with one toilet, and there's a camera over the toilet. They don't have a bed. They don't have a blanket. They don't have a pillow. They only have a Mylar blanket like you get in the marathon. Reports finds dehumanizing conditions in Florida immigration detention centers. Again, this 92-page report right here. Again, everything's in the show notes. Go ahead and take a look at them. Let me see the videotapes. Mark Epstein wants Steve Bannons 15-hour of unseen footage of his brother. Bannon said he plans to release the documentary about Jeffrey Epstein early next year. So it's July 2025. He wants to do it in July. He wants to do it sometime in 2026 when everyone's forgotten about it and it's not a story anymore. Hunter Biden says Dad Joe was on Ambient during a disastrous 2024 debate with Trump. Anybody with two working brain cells that had two eyeballs that could see thought that he was on something at that time. There's a lot of F-bombs that go on this. I haven't watched it. I just know everyone was talking about it. Betrayal of every American. Barack Hussein Obama now squarely in Russiagate crosshairs. New disclosures from Tulsi Gabbard led working group point directly to the top as the legacy of hope and change begins to plunge to the ocean floor. The whole idea was that, let's see, 10 days ago, news broke the detainees. Justice Department opened criminal investigations into two of Obama top deputies, former FBI chief James Comey and former CIA head John Brennan. Again, this was a distraction from the whole Epstein thing. Anybody saw it coming. So Trump makes a video, posts AI video of Obama being arrested, handcuffed as he gleefully watches. Is this? Oh, here it is. I think this is it right here. No, that's not it. Here it is. Oh, they just have this. They just have this camera of it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. There's songs playing on it. That's why. If they have the YMCA playing in the background, says no one's above the law, and uh, Trump put that. Now, if everyone's looking like, hey, look, that's great for us. Look at what they're doing. Do you remember when the who died? Oh, what's his face? The Carter died. And they had the ceremony of the funeral, whatever, up in D.C. Where was it? I think it was D.C. Yeah, and they had the Clintons come in, and they had Obama was sitting next to Trump, and Trump was next. Who was he next to? And Kamala Cackles was sitting in front of Trump and Obama, and Trump and Barry said we're talking the whole time, yakking up a lot. They were BFFs at that time. There was no. I'll go ahead and do this. Ain't nobody going to jail over this. This is going to be 100% another distraction. Just keeping your eyes off of everything that's going on, the AI, the stable coins, obviously Epstein, and that's a thing, but that's the biggest pedo thing that happened to cover up by the government, and now everyone's talking about Russia from 2016. So yeah, there's no one above the law thing. Ain't nobody going to jail. Vatican hardens tone on Israel after Gaza Paris strike. Obviously, everyone knows that the church in Gaza got hit last week, and Israel comes out saying that it was accidental. That it was accidental. We just moved our guns in front of the church, or or the idea of maybe the church jumped in front of the tank, or whatever. And obviously, you've seen the Babylon Bee guy saying that, oh, that's because the Catholics were Hamas guys, which is typical Israeli Hamas. There's Catholics that even are saying stuff like that because they're more embedded with Israel than they are with humanity, the Catholic Church, anything. Everyone's Hamas to them. There's 55,000 people that have been killed in the last few months, but everyone's Hamas. But if you look at the Hamas, the official lineup of all their numbers, it doesn't even reach like 3,000 or something like that. But yet, everybody's Hamas, kids to adults to women, the bread guy on the corner, everybody is Hamas. So to these guys, that's why you can kill everybody. You can just boogeyman them, identify them, belittle them, dehumanize them, and then you can kill them all. Anyways, an Israeli army strike on the only Catholic church in Gaza last week pushed the Vatican to change its tone on Israel and blame it more directly in the Dragon War, a break from its traditional diplomacy strategy. See, Leo XIV on Sunday slammed the barbarity of the war and the blind use of force, denouncing the attack by the Israeli army. Again, one of the good things that we've repeatedly said on News from the Pew for the last year or so is how Francis was rightly calling out the atrocities that Israel has been doing to Gaza, the ethnic cleansing that nobody in the Catholic sphere wants to even say those words, especially the MAGA Catholics. They'd rather go get hit by a truck than say ethnic cleansing by their boss, Trump. Anyways, yes, good on Leo for calling out this. It is a barbarity. It is a terrible thing that's going on in real time, and the U.S. government is funding it 100% too. It's god awful what's going on out there. And again, Bibi's a war criminal that should be arrested once he gets off a plane. But in these United States of Israel, as one guy called it, he gets the royal treatment, and Trump pulls out the seat for him, and everyone in D.C. applauds and loves him because they're all Zionist lapdogs. Gaza killing denounced as disgraced by humanity by Belgian king. It's from Politico. The EU's top brass has not publicly responded to the reported deaths of over 108 seekers in Gaza over the weekend. So just let you know, you just know that they got, the church got killed every day. Bombs going. There's video of Cardinal Pizzabella giving a sermon, and you can hear the ordinances going off in the background, right outside the doors. It sounds like it's shaking. So 108 seekers got killed over the weekend, this past weekend. And as he said, Belgium supports are called by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres for, quote, an immediate end to this unbearable crisis. At least 73 people were killed on Sunday when attempting to obtain aid across Gaza. The enclave's health ministry said scores of them at the Zaikim crossing with Israel at the north of the territory. More than 150 people were poorly wounded. Again, it's kind of like the Hunger Games with what's going on over there. If you can get to the food before you get killed, by the time you get to the food, you might be killed. So yes, it's a horrible thing again. How California cloud seeding company became the center of a Texas flood conspiracy. Now this is talking about the rainmaker that happened right before the flood in Texas. Now, I've been talking about the cloud seeding for years, and I actually had friends calling me going just the other day saying, "I think you're onto something." With the chemtrails, with the cloud seeding, all that. You can, and with a lot of people don't want to hear it, and you can send them the evidence, videos, and here's news reporting on it. Here's how we're doing it. UAB, West Coast, the Western states, all the above, France, Spain, they've all had floods. And some people just don't want to know it, don't want to believe, don't want to think their government could do something like this. But I'm not 100% thinking that Rainmaker did it, because you have to have the stuff in the cloud at the same time. But I mean, who knows how long that stuff can stay in the sky too. But we've messed up. Talk about man-made global climate change. Yeah, we're man-making it by all the stuff, the tic-tac-toe stuff you see in the skies. That's man-made. All this stuff, that's man-made. This rainmaker stuff, just to get a little bit more snow in the Rockies for ski season. Or this guy, the guy that runs it, thinks he's God, by the way. We played his video. He says he's doing God's will by making it rain in places where there's no rain is happening in a couple of days, a week, which, because of all the stuff we're spraying, is causing fluxes in the atmosphere itself. You get the extremes from both sides. Look up Bain weather manipulation. He does a whole video on stuff like this. Talk about what are they spraying in the skies. I mean, these guys are, Florida's trying to ban it. I don't know who else is trying to ban it. Tennessee banned some of it. Above a certain, Tennessee has a thing, they banned it to a certain feet, but above it you can do it. I don't ask why, but I guess it's like a good step in a way. You can't do it too low. This is chemtrails, of course, and that's why you see farmers having sunflower seeds, or using sunflower seeds to grow sunflowers. Obviously, sunflowers in their gardens, not only to bring in beneficial insects, but sunflowers pull metals out of the ground. So any of the metals that are falling out of the sky, the sunflower can pull out. So if you're growing something, it's a good idea to throw a sunflower out there so that you have better soil. Trump administration, got a little sidetracked. Trump administration released FBI records on MLK despite his family's opposition. Great thing that you want to look at for the MLK things. So go on James Corbett, CorbettReport.com, and type in MLK. You'll find a lot of good stuff on that. Beef prices are the new egg prices. They're soaring. Man, I joke that I haven't had a steak in years. I can't afford the darn things. And someone gave me grief for getting a $5 flank steak one time. We bet on it. That was it. I didn't even have it. Me and Rick and I had bet on that one time. Catholic blog removed by Google causes censorship uproar. Mesainlatino.it, top Catholic blog. Forgive me if I butchered that. was removed by Google amid rising June 2025 traffic. I'm having the opposite. I haven't got kicked off yet, but I'm getting shadow banned from all sides right now. A widely read Catholic blog was vanished from the internet, stirring concern over the growing influence of Silicon Valley gatekeepers on discourse. The morning of July 12th, those attempting to access the site was greeted not with commentary or liturgical analysis, but with the terse notice blog has been removed. I admit I've never seen that blog, read it. I don't read a lot of Catholic blogs, but man, I don't know what happened right there, but I can see a lot of us having that happen to us. Inside Russia, suicide drone factories manned by teenagers. Putin ramps up weapon production as he aims to pound Ukraine with thousands of missiles every night. And apparently it's run by teenagers. Students and staff were shown in the production line construction row after a row of matte black Generez 2 drones, the Russian-built version of the Iranian-designed Shahed 136. Teenagers are reportedly invited to the plant after finishing ninth grade at 15 years old, and most come from nearby tech college. Everywhere you look, there's young people working here. So you don't have to code, or you can just build that stuff, which the Micro has a great thing about. I told you people they're going after the coders. You should become janitor. You could not janitors, but you should get in these the dirty jobs in a sense, so you can make better money. Germany shut down thousands of air raid shelters. It needs new ones fast as part of the effort to become war ready by 2029. I guess they're ready for 2030. I get, or something coming up on 2030. That that key date. By the way, 2029 is the 100th anniversary of the Fatima request to consecrate Russia not going down. Berlin is scouting public places that can be turned into shelters quickly and cheaply. Poland readies how-to guide to coping in case of war, natural disaster. So again, everything underneath will be in the show notes. This morning, Alaska Airlines grounds all flights after IT outage disrupts systems. Yeah, they weren't the only ones. It was the Alaska Airlines stay of the IT outage resulted in a temporary system-wide ground stop for Alaska Airlines and Horizon Air flights around 11 p.m. and lasted until 2 a.m. Monday, the airline wrote in a statement on X. It happens more often than you think anymore. And I've been looking at this stuff for years, and all of a sudden it's happening almost like once a month or once every couple of weeks. I mean, I'm in Charlotte. And I hear about the grounding over there a lot. They're what? Top 10 airports in the world? NATO scrambles warplanes for a 13th time in weeks after latest Putin attack. It's the 13th time in a few weeks the alliance has publicly admitted to deploying jets in response to widespread Russian attack, but the number could be much higher. Missile and drones pounded Ukrainian city of Ivano-Frankivsk. I know I butchered that, so sorry. We'll call it IF for short. One of the heaviest attacks in the war, reaching between 60 and 105 miles from Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. Don't worry. Trump gave Ukraine a bunch of missiles too. So, global hack on Microsoft product hits U.S. state agencies, research say. Hackers exploited a major security flaw in widely used Microsoft server software to launch a global attack on government agencies and businesses in the past few days, breaching U.S. federal and state agencies, universities, energy companies, and an Asian telecommunications company, according to state officials and private researchers. U.S. government and partners with Canada and Australia are investigating the compromise of SharePoint servers, which provide a platform for sharing and managing documents. Tens of thousands of such servers are at risk, experts say, and Microsoft has issued no patch for the flaw, leaving victims around the world scrambling to respond. I hit that twice. Whoops. I guess it's twice. Pepco restores service in DuPont Circle neighborhood for the third time. I don't think that was what I had eventually up. Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was. Numerous DuPont Circle neighbors woke up Sunday morning to a now familiar issue. Their power was out yet again. According to Pepco, the 22nd Street substation experienced its third power outage within 3 days. And the electrical company, Now I'm starting to hear their songs in my mind, was actively addressing the equipment issue. As of 5 p.m. Sunday, Pepco reported the utility repairs were complete and power restored to affected customers. In recent layoffs, AI's role may be bigger than companies are letting on. That's the understatement of the year. IBM and Kyra are among companies that have been transparent about AI replacing some human employee roles. Doge was saying that, and Trump put a thing out, not an EO, but he wrote a thing talking about how AI is going to be pretty much in charge of things. But what do you think they're kicking out? They're getting rid of the federal people for? I mean, I'm fine with getting rid of federal employees, but yeah, they got something to replace it. Why? And its letters are AI. Layoffs may mask a larger role for artificial intelligence, and companies are revealing. It's again the understatement of the year. The robots that are taking over your food delivery, technology removing humans in effort to make restaurant delivery faster and better. This actually happened in Charlotte. Yeah, they're getting this out today, but I've known about this for weeks. Robots are carting fried chicken through Chicago streets. Drones are parachuting Panera strawberry lemonade down to homes in Charlotte, North Carolina. AI-powered scales at fast food restaurants are making sure delivery orders that go out aren't missing burgers. Now, the thing about this that I know here is what they're doing in Charlotte is just like a 2-mile radius, and it's in like the upper Escalon area of town. It's not, we bums out here aren't getting any of that. Not that we want that, but it's very low, very, very small, localized. Eventually they'll make it out bigger. But I mean, they talked about Amazon doing this for years, having been able to deliver Amazon delivery, which I don't know how they would do the skies with the planes. Oh yeah, I know why. They don't want planes. They don't want you to fly anymore, so you won't have to worry about planes because you're gonna have these drones flying all over the place. Japanese First Party emerges as election force with tough immigration talks. So you got Japanese First, runoffs of anything first happening all over the world. This is from Oracle Films, called Geo Fencing. Think of it as an invisible fence around you that will be related to your facial recognition, digital ID, and access control. Here's the video of that.
Long term, the plan is to pretty much lock up humanity in smart cities, which is kind of a superset of a 15-minute city. They've sold all the state and local governments and countries that smart cities are about sustainability and the good of the city. But in reality, the language from the UN and WEF and their white papers is all inverted. So, air monitoring is really about limiting mobility and no car ownership. Right? Surveillance, control via LED grid is why the smart lighting is there. Water management is about water rationing, noise pollution is about speech surveillance, traffic monitoring is about limiting mobility, and then, of course, energy conservation is all about rationing heat, electricity, and gasoline. Another concept one should be familiar with is called geo fencing, and think of it as an invisible fence around you where you cannot go beyond a certain point, and that will be related to your face recognition, digital identity, and access control. Your smart contracts, SoftBrick can turn off your digital currency beyond a certain point from your house. Our world has been turned into a digital panopticon. That means you can be monitored, analyzed, managed, and monetized.
And obviously that should scare the you-know-what out of everyone, but what's wrong one? So yeah, that went remove, put that back over. Sorry, carry the two. Hillsborough woman conned out of $15,000 after AI clones daughter's voice. Now, this is like the fourth or fifth story I've heard of something like this. Hillsborough County woman is warning others about falling victim to an elaborate AI-powered scheme that used clone audio of her daughter's voice to demand thousands of dollars in fake bond money. Sharon Brightwell said that the ordeal began last Wednesday when she received a call from a number that looked like her daughter's. On the other end of the line, a young woman was sobbing, claiming to have been in a car crash. Quote, "There is nobody that could convince me that it wasn't her. I know my daughter's cry." The caller said that she hit a pregnant woman while texting and driving and claimed her phone had been taken by the police. A man then got on the line claiming to be an attorney representing her daughter. He told Sharon that her daughter was being detained and needed $15,000 in bail money and cash. He gave very specific instructions. He told me not to tell the bank what the money was for or for that it could affect my daughter's credit. Following his instructions, she withdrew the money and placed it in the box as directed. A driver showed up to her house to pick up the package. Didn't stop there. Sharon received another call saying the unborn child had died and the family, described as quote Christian people, had agreed not to sue her daughter if she provided another $30,000. That's when the grandson stepped in. He was on the phone with a family friend who quickly called Sharon directly this time with her real daughter on the line. I screamed, Sharon said. When I heard her voice, I broke down. She was fine. She was still at work. The family believes the suspects used videos from Facebook and other social media to create a convincing AI-generated replica of her daughter's voice. I pray this doesn't happen to anyone else. My husband and I are recently retired. That money was our savings. I can guarantee I can do my own voice on AI, and I'm an idiot on this stuff. If there's anybody with talent out there, they could scam anybody easily. Remember the Biden call? I'm talking about the not the vote and things like that. It was a joke by was a joke by a comedian for $1 bet. But yeah, I've heard many stories like this before. So anytime something calls like that, I know this isn't AI related. But have you ever seen that movie, The Beekeeper? That stuff happens all the time too. It's not AI related, but they get into your account, find out who you are and all that, and then they zero out all your accounts. I've seen that happen in stories also a lot. But yeah, these AI voices, be on the wary because there's going to be a time like she's figuring out now, you will not know what is real and what is fake. Here on the southeast side, I'm not in the southeast side, but in the southeast side, rezoning application filed for a data center developed in Matthews. Matthews is in the southeast side of Charlotte. Yeah, and it's going to be another, and this is a small town too, and they're putting a data center in. Here's DJT talking about the Washington Redskins. My statement on the Redskins totally blew up, but only the very positive way. I may put a restriction on them, but they don't change the name back to the original Redskins and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Command. Now, I'm all for the Redskins coming back, but I told a buddy of mine, how in the wild world of sports is a president allowed to get involved in the actions of an NFL football team? And apparently in Article 1, Section 8, he told me that this is it. He can do this. And then obviously there's taxpayer money going in because it's in D.C. and he's giving money to. So shouldn't we have free tickets to any Washington Redskin game? If taxpayer money, literal taxpayer money is going in all across. Where's Doge at on that one? I know Doge is gone, but where was that? Amazon Alexa class action lawsuit puts Big Brother in the hot seat. This is Dan Dix. He's in Canada. The lawsuit alleges that Amazon's Alexa products and services collected significantly more personal information about users than was disclosed, retained that information indefinitely, even after users attempted to delete it, and then used that information for Amazon's profit to train algorithms, AIs, and machine learning software. I wouldn't have an Amazon. I know cell phones do the same thing. I get rid of it. Don't get the smart devices. Try not, and definitely don't get Amazons or Alexas or any of those things. Turn on your own light. In good news of the week, raw is law. North Dakota has legalized raw milk products, not just milk, raw ice cream. Oh, raw cream. I'm sorry, raw cream, raw butter, raw kefir. Now I can get raw cream across the border. We don't have raw butter. We got to make our own. But this is the North Dakota. This is great. All straight from the farm. No pasteurization, no middleman, no grocery gatekeepers. The raw milk we're building is leveled up. The actual good stuff. Real milk, not dead milk. So again, we end up with a little good news. It's a little white cup full of good stuff for you to drink or whatever. Use. Anyway, God love you. Have a great rest of the day. See you tomorrow for Clown Planet wrap up or whatever I call it is, the daily wrap up Clown Planet. Have a great rest of the day.